As I'm sure you guys are aware, the Republicans have campaigned upon repealing and replacing Obamacare for years, and now they are forced to actually put out a piece of legislation because they finally have what they asked for. They have control of all levels of government. So the proposal is called the Affordable Health Care Act. So they had 6 years they spent fighting against the Affordable Care Act with vitriol, with no mercy, and with extreme hatred. And all they could come up with as a name was Affordable Health Care Act instead of the Affordable Care Act. Something tells me you guys weren't really working. I don't know. But it's a terrible piece of legislation. Basically, it's set to give the rich massive tax breaks and lower their the amount of money that they pay. And it's going to make the amount of uninsured Americans sky fucking rocket. So the Congressional Budget Office, which is supposed to give us the legitimate statistics, has finally came out, and it says that 24 million Americans will lose health insurance under GOP bill by 2026. So this is an article by Zero Hedge. It's pretty good. This is crazy. So I'm going to read you guys some stuff. They say the much anticipated CBO scoring of the American Health Care Act, aka TrumpCare, is out, and it has concluded that millions of Americans would lose medical insurance under the Republican proposal to dismantle Obamacare, dealing a potential setback to President Donald Trump's first major legislative initiative. In total, the CBO found that 52 million people would be uninsured by 2026 if the bill became law, compared to 28 million, which is still a big figure. Okay, that's a big figure still. We're going to be almost fucking doubling that bitch. Okay, who would not have coverage that year if Obamacare remained unchanged. So here's what they say. They say among the key highlights are the following. 14 million would lose health insurance by 2018 in 2 fucking years. Not even 1 year. I keep thinking it's 2016 for some reason. But in 1 year, 14 million Americans will lose access to health insurance. Did you know that 25,000 to 45,000 Americans die per year because they have a lack of access to basic fucking healthcare? This is supposed to be American exceptionalism. I didn't know that having 45,000 people dying because they don't even have access to healthcare was American exceptionalism, right? I mean, think of the toll of all the American soldiers that died in wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. This number's not even close to that, and this is fucking annually. So this is ridiculous, right? I mean, this amount, and they say with the number risen to 24 million by 2026. So this whole thing is just ridiculous, and they continue. So you're going to have to pay quite a bit in the beginning because they're going to take away, I think they're taking away the mandate, the individual mandate. So because people don't get fined, it's going to be a lot harder to actually fund the fucking bill. Here's what they say. They say premiums would rise by 15 to 20% in 2018 and 2019. However, they would then decline by 10% than under current law by 2026. So we have to wait till 2026 to have a 10% cut from now for premiums. And that's all the while the CEOs are getting tax breaks and millions of Americans are losing their health insurance. You know what a nice solution would be? Single-payer Medicare for all system. Okay? Ask Canada how many people die because they don't have access to basic health insurance, or health insurance in general, to be honest. Go ahead, ask Canada, our neighbors up north. Ask Canada. Ask Denmark. Ask Norway. Ask all these different countries. They're going to laugh. What kind of a society doesn't provide health care for its citizens? It's a fucking joke. So we have a few more here. CBO and JCT estimate that in 2018, 14 million more people would be uninsured under the legislation than under current law. That is fucking unbelievable. That number should make you jump. 18 million people are at risk for death because they are uninsured. Holy fuck. Okay, they continue. The increase in the number of uninsured people relative to the number under current law would rise to 21 million in 2020 and then to 24 million in 2026. And then they give the little kicker here. There you go. In 2026, an estimated 52 million people would be uninsured, compared with 28 million who would lack insurance that year under current law. And all it does is cut the deficit by 337 billion over 10 fucking years. That's how much it cuts. What kind of a deal are we getting out of that? We're doing a cut of 30 billion to lose millions of Americans' health insurance. You know how you could really fund that little federal deficit that you could really fuck up? Maybe tax the CEOs instead of cutting their taxes, you jackass Republicans. This TrumpCare is garbage, and it's not even a Republican proposal. This is just to make sure that they get reelected. This whole thing is an absolute, utter, and disgusting joke. Republicans, your bill is garbage. TrumpCare is shit. And Trump supporters are going to be hit really, really fucking hard by this bill. They are. So Trump supporters are going to be the victims of this. And it's going to be their fault because they're accomplices and not victims.